All right, let's do this.
Hey Kim, yeah, you mentioned last time that maybe your players, one of the things they were going to learn about you was your sense of humor. Where did you develop that? Was that something that you had as a player, or is that something you was a coaching tactic that you developed later?
No, it's real. It's who I am. I'm just comical, quick-witted. Even when I was a player, I was competitive and serious, and just sometimes in the heat of the battle, might just say something to crack a teammate up, or it's just a human element to it.
Is it is there a good example in practice where maybe you think you got that message across to the players since
Oh,
you started?
Jim, there's too many to tell you just one. And the thing about it is, you don't plan it; it just comes out. You'd have to sit and watch a practice and laugh and tell stories, but no, it just whatever comes in here comes out here, and if it's something that I can use and make everybody laugh but understand my message, then I do it. I can't today just think of one. There's probably tons of them already.
Okay.
Hi, Coach Mulkey. This is William with Tiger Rag. How you doing?
I'm good, William.
I'm doing a story kind of collectively with the three grad transfers coming back, and I wanted when you I guess when you got on board and you knew they were coming back to just discuss the value in having that much experience coming back and whatever roles as leadership, productivity on the floor. Can you just discuss having that type of leadership coming back in experience?
Well, it's leadership first, and that's just what you expect fifth-year seniors to be, are leaders. They love LSU. They didn't know anything about our coaching staff. They embraced us. They bought in, and we're just grateful. I'm very thankful that they chose to stay a part of the program, and I anticipate them, if they stay healthy, to have great senior years. They work hard. They don't act entitled. They act hungry to me. And when you say the word hungry, how do you gauge that? You gauge that by their effort. You gauge that by their facial expressions, their enthusiasm. And sometimes when you have fifth-year seniors, it's hard to get them excited. And I see excitement in each of them.
Because out of that group, only one of them has ever played in an NCAA tournament game. I was going to ask you just about being able to motivate them because they've never been where you've been.
Well, you worry about that down the road. I don't even know if we can get to an NCAA tournament. We have goals that we have to accomplish before we ever even think along those lines. And you give them little goals throughout the year, and when you achieve those goals, we celebrate them. And I think I've mentioned those several times in different press conferences. The NCAA tournament will take care of itself if you can finish in the upper half of this league. But we have other goals that are just as important as that in order to build this program for the long term.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I apologize for my voice. That's not from practicing. It's just some crud. I guess we all have it.
Okay. Yeah. So Kim, you're about 2 weeks in now. Is it starting to come into focus? Are you starting to see things that you wanted to see, and what this team will look like when it takes the floor?
Well, certainly I'm starting to see more than I had the last time I visited with y'all, but until we play against somebody, I think the true picture is a little cloudy right now. But going against each other every day in practice, going against what I call the dream team, which are the male students from LSU, I think it gives me a better sense of maybe who potentially could be in our rotation of 8, 9 players. It tells me what we're capable of doing and not doing. It's I'm getting a clearer picture, but until we toss it up on that floor against competition, I don't think I have just a true picture. But I know what some of the strengths and weaknesses of these kids are now, and the one thing that has remained constant, guys, is that they really are working hard. They really want to excel. They really want to do good, and I think that's obvious every day.
Has there been a specific surprise player or a surprise aspect of this team that's hit you?
Well, I think I start with the three seniors. I think their sense of comfort, maybe even though they're uncomfortable with a new coach and they are learning themselves, I think the physicality, the just playing the game, I think it's a comfort level that comes with an older player. I think, as always, freshmen, they struggle. They struggle with the physicality. They struggle with the focus. They struggle with time management. This is all new to them. So nothing unexpected in those areas. I think once I start narrowing it down where the 8 or 9 players are playing together consistently on the floor, I can get a really good picture of rotation and who needs to be on the floor with who. I kind of know now in my head, but I don't ever want to count anybody out. You have those players who are great at running drills, and they look good in practice, and when the lights come on, they disappear. And so I think that's why the games are so important.
Hey, Kim, Ron Higgins, Tiger Rag. After going through a couple of your practices, I can vouch that you are highly entertaining. The stuff that comes out of your mouth is unscripted. It's really good. But at your practices, really, nobody stands around for too long. There's always motion, and it seems like the energy is always up, whether it's the assistant coaches clapping or you just won't tolerate people standing around. So talk about the high energy and that you demand at practice, like for 3 hours, the same of energy.
Well, our sport is fast-paced, and that's my personality. In that, maybe it's part of having been a player. I did not like playing for coaches who just said get on the baseline and run, and they spend all this time conditioning you. To me, that's the strength and conditioning coach's job. If you can get better and also condition with a basketball in your hands, that's what I wanted as a player. Water breaks are great. To me, you have a water break the entire practice, as you have noticed. We have managers standing there. Anytime you want to reach and grab water, you do so. But I just think it gets you in shape. It prepares you for games. And, I don't want to be rushed, but I just don't want a lot of dead time out there. That dead time, man, that 20 minutes of running or that 20 minutes of sitting around or moving, what could we have done in that 20 minutes that would have made us a better team? And so I've always had practices like this, and we work. That time is spent working.
I've noticed you incorporate your conditioning within the practice, but for consequences. If you turn the ball over on this, you're going to run. You kind of incorporate it within the practice.
Well, I can't run them in a game, but I can sure take them out of a game when they turn it over, right? So you might as well get them ready for that. You might as well teach them the value of taking care of the basketball. It's like that in any sport, guys. If you have errors in baseball, if you have interceptions in football, in our sport, if you turn it over, you're not going to win many basketball games. And so hold them accountable. Make sure they understand, and you're being fair in that, what did I ask you to do? Did I just tell another player what you just did wrong? Were you listening on the side? I would go back to when I was a player. It's hard to focus when you're on the sideline and you're not getting the reps. So I make sure that they're constantly getting reps, and that if you're on that sideline, you're going to get your reps. I hold them accountable when they mess up, because if you don't, how do you ever correct it? And so, there's a little bit of motivation in that. I don't want them scared. I don't want them to play scared. But I want them to understand we're not going to slop around out there and you turn it over without being held accountable.
Why did you want to be a business major? I mean, obviously, you thought, well, why did you want to be a businesswoman that traveled around the world? What Where did that come from? Just big dreams of getting out of small cities?
Well, probably if I was being really, really honest, academics, it was always important to me. I graduated valedictorian in my high school class, and I was not the smartest, most intelligent one. If you took the test scores of ACT and SATs, you'd probably be shocked at what mine was, but I graduated valedictorian. I went to Louisiana Tech like a lot of freshmen and didn't know what I wanted to do when I got out of college. How many of us do? And I never thought I wanted to be a coach, not because I didn't respect the profession. Honestly, I just aspired to just make a lot of money. And, you know, those CEOs of those Fortune 500 companies, that was intriguing to me. And flying all over the country was intriguing to me. And maybe it's because I thought they were smarter than coaches, and I didn't want to be thought of as, oh, I'm just a coach. And then as I got older and got talked into it from the president at Louisiana Tech, F.J. Taylor, I realized, wow, this is really what I'm meant to do. And coaches do make a lot of money, and maybe I just didn't realize that. But yes, the money was intriguing, but I just think it was probably a perception maybe I had that anybody can be a coach, but only a few people can probably be CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. I don't know. That's a great question. I'm just throwing out possibilities of why I thought like that. I'd never got to finish my master's degree, but I certainly would have had I not gotten into coaching.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kim.
One more?
I just want to go ask you about the grad transfer students again. This is kind of a new thing, the advent of having kids come back with a COVID year. When you get kids back, your fourth and fifth year in this program, I wonder what expectations you might have had for these three girls, because they're artists for a long in their program in their careers. They've had varying levels of success, but they have not played for you yet. I just wondered what expectations you would have for a Pointer, Afua, and Cherry at this stage of their careers.
Well, I want them to have the best year of their college careers. I want them to leave here and say, wow. And if they do that, then I will be excited for them. I can't guarantee them anything. I can't guarantee them we'll make the tournament. We'll do all these things. I can guarantee them they can be the beginning of what we hope to be special times again at LSU in women's basketball. I respect them tremendously for staying. I respect them for embracing us as a new coaching staff, and especially KP. That's her aunt. Nikki's her aunt, and she has just embraced us, and just like she's known us forever. And if you don't have seniors that embrace you, even if you're a staff that recruited them, then it makes for miserable times. But to watch those three enjoy what they're doing out there, and watch other people. It's so interesting because you pick up on things by comments that managers make to you, or administrators, or people that have been around the program prior to you getting here. And former players coming and watching practice and just making little comments that let you know they appreciate what they see out there. And that's all that matters, is that they see progress, that they say thank you, and they see a different player in this kid, or it wasn't like that. It makes you realize that people are interested and people care. We good? Y'all good? All right, guys. Thank you.